Hey guys, and before you ask, no, this is not a tutorial of how to braid hair. Because honestly, I think I need a tutorial of how to braid hair because, well, this is the first braid I've ever done. So yeah. Anyways, today we're actually going to learn how to have fun building a Python program to send emails to other people. And even better, how to send hilarious dad jokes to any inbox. Whether you want to prank your friend or your girlfriend, this is going to be a video for you. A perfect tutorial for you. So first you're going to want to download a Python compiler, which I use python.org. You can go over there and you go to downloads, you download it and open it, follow the steps. And then once you have it, you're just going to want to open a new file, and then start editing the program that we're going to be going over in this video. At the end of the video, once you are done with coding the program, you're going to want to save it as a .py, a Python file, so that when you open it from your file explorer, it automatically starts playing the program. So now that we've downloaded the software, we can start building our program. So to build the program, we're going to need some Python modules like this one, and this one. And this is what it should look like at the beginning of the code. It should say import and then all of these things. You also need a Gmail account for this to work and a 16-app password from your Google account. This is how to get your 16-digit app password from your Google account. You head over to your Google account, then you search in the search bar, you search app passwords, then you create new, you might need to name it, and then you might need to put in your password or fingerprint, and then you can have your 6-digit password, which is usually a bunch of numbers. Now make sure you copy it and you paste it somewhere safe, because we're going to need that later in this video. But by the end of this video, this program will be able to send emails, compose emails using an email, password, and another email, and you can compose it. 2, you can send a random dad joke to anybody. And 3, it can quit the program. And this is the main menu function that users will see when they get here, and this is the code behind it. So let's get started with a step-by-step guide of how to do the email program in Python. So first, we're gonna have to start by importing from the libraries. This one's gonna help us be able to communicate and talk with the Gmail server. This one is gonna help us format our messages. And the random one, well, basically means what it says. It's the thing that makes us be able to choose the jokes randomly. Next, we will have to define the email sending function. We're gonna use send_email bracket as our function for this function. This will make us be able to send an email using Gmail's servers. The sender email, the password, the receiver email, the body, the subject, all that stuff are variables to be able to get inputs from the user. So once we're done this program, if the user chooses number 1 in the menu, which we're going to be creating later on in this video, if they choose number 1, they're going to be asked to put in their Gmail email. And then they're going to be asked to put in their 16-digit app password from their Google account, which we are already pasted somewhere safe. So we're going to use that later still, we don't need it yet. But that's what they're going to be asked. Then after that, they're going to be prompted with the question, or with the ability to enter the recipient email, the email that they want to send the email to, and the subject of the email, and the body text of the email. Just type it in, and then once you click enter, it'll send. After all of this is entered, the email will be proceeded to be sent to the recipient. With this fancy thing, that's how the email is sent, and it verifies your email address and the app password to be able to send the email. Notice that if the email cannot be sent, and it can't be sent, and there'll be an error message saying email cannot be sent, make sure that your email address and your 16-digit password are entered correctly. Then after that, it'll give you the chance to enter it again. Now, this is why we need the loop, because it loops back to go back so you can enter it again. And when you paste in your 16-digit app password, you want to make sure you do not include the spaces. You want to delete the spaces between the three sets of letters. Make sure you don't have any spaces. Now we've covered basically all for the sending an email and composing an email function in this. We're gonna talk about it a little bit more later in the menus function that we're gonna be talking about. But now let's move on to the random joke generator email sender. This is the most exciting part of the entire program, in my humble opinion. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go onto the internet, you're gonna look up a bunch of dad jokes. It doesn't even have to be dad jokes, it can be whatever you want. And clean though, it has to be clean. But yeah, you can choose anything and then you just copy and paste it into the code. So we're gonna be naming this function get random funny email. That's what it says in my notes. And that's the function that's what we're gonna name the function. And it's gonna be able to make it so that everything that's listed below is random. That's why we imported random earlier, so that the random function in the code can randomly choose any of these emails and send it randomly. Random. It's basically like the wheel, not the wheel of fortune, but the wheel of jokes, because it's just gonna randomly choose one, boop, and send it. Pretty cool. So at the very top of the code, where we already imported what we needed, the random and the thing that helps us to connect with Gmail, we're going to add something else that says that has our email address and our app password. This will be very important for this function, for the function of sending random emails, because those random emails have to come from an email address, and it will be that email address that you put in there. And make sure that your app password does not have any spaces in it, and just paste it right in there in the code. Nobody will ever be able to see the code, so just paste it right in there. And because of this, it'll make us be able to send random jokes to anyone. And if after the code is finished and you run the program, if it has a problem sending a random email, that is likely because you have a typo in the code with your email address and the password. So make sure you don't have any spaces, and make sure it is the correct password and correct email. That is very important, okay? Now, because it is random jokes and the people that you're sending the jokes to, you don't want them to see your personal name or your personal email address. So I do recommend creating another Google account that is not associated with your name. And make sure when you do that, make sure you use the app password from that account. Go back to the beginning of this video and do the same steps to get that app password for that new account. So in this function, you're going to enter the emails, a function or a variable emails equals. Now you're going to enter each of the jokes, each of the emails that you have chosen, that you've selected from the internet. You're gonna need to use this format though, this template. Under the email equals, you're gonna have this, well, beside it, you're gonna have the square bracket, and then you're gonna have indent. You can have in brackets subject, then colon, and then in brackets, you're gonna write the subject of the email, close brackets, or not brackets, quotations, and then you're gonna have the body. And if your email has multiple lines, you're gonna make sure you put 3 commas before, then you do multiple lines, and then at the end 3 commas. Okay, 3 commas. That is important for it to work properly and send the email. At the end of each email, here's an example on the screen right now, but at the end of each email, you want to make sure you have the fancy brackets and the comma and the fancy open bracket properly formatted, because if you don't, then it will not work. But after that, you just copy and paste each email and then edit it, and it should work if you have the proper formatting as shown above. So yeah, just repeat this with all the jokes that you want to be chosen randomly. Once you have written all your emails out, all the dad jokes, you're gonna make sure you close the function by using the square bracket, and then you're gonna wanna end it with return random.choice emails. Very important, or else the random choosing of the emails will not properly work. And now you have a random joke generator. Every time a user clicks 2 in the menu that we're gonna still be looking at later in the video, they will be able to enter a random email address to send a random joke. Now is the time for the glue of the function, the menu function, the menu loop. This is what holds everything together and what makes this program work properly. The menu basically just asks the user, or says, welcome to the email, whatever, and then it has 3 options. It's gonna ask, do you want 1, to compose an email to a random person, or 2, send a randomly generated dad joke to an email, or 3, quit. Now the user will either enter 1, 2, or 3, and it'll do exactly what it says. If they choose 1, then it'll go to the function that is random, or that is the email editor. And as you can see in the screenshot, we have the your email address, app password, recipient, subject, body, everything. And so it's going to ask that, and the user is going to enter it, and then they're going to click enter, and it's going to send if everything is inputted properly. When they pick number 2, a random joke is going to be sent to the email address that they write in, which is pretty fun because you can prank some pretty cool people with that. So yeah, the user, depending on what option they choose, the user will be asked a certain questions. The first one I already explained, your email address, app password. The second one is going to be whatever email address you want to send to. Third one is just going to quit. It's going to cut the program completely, so you don't have to enter anything. The while true loop that we use in the menu is very, very important, because it means that if the user does not choose option 1, 2, or 3, or if they put in a letter or 4 or whatever, then it'll say that's an incorrect option. You have to choose 1, 2, or 3. It's not an option. So, but it's gonna, because of the while true loop, it's gonna loop back to the question, to the main menu again, instead of stopping the program completely. It's gonna loop back to the program. While true means that if they choose 1, it's gonna go to this function. If they choose 2, it's gonna go to this function. If they choose 3, it's gonna cut. Anything else that's not 1, 2, or 3 is gonna restart from the beginning and tell them that there's an incorrect thing, and they're gonna have to choose again. Essentially, the menu is what holds the whole program together and connects the variables together, and it makes it so that the user can choose what they want. It makes it more customizable for the user. Now we're gonna test our code, because we already have our code written out. I've showed some screenshots and I've explained it. Now we're gonna test our code with some test cases to make sure it runs smoothly and correctly. We're just gonna do a few in this video, but I want you to do at least 15 and write it down, take screenshots, do 15, make sure it all works properly so that your program is working correctly. So before we do this, you're gonna wanna save your file, save it as a .py, because yeah, and then click save, and then you're gonna open File Explorer. You're gonna open the file, and it's gonna start the program right away. And now we're gonna start doing our test cases. So case number 1, we're gonna input sender email. So I'm gonna use my email and my 16-digit password. I'm gonna just fill in some things. It doesn't matter what you fill in for the subject. I'm gonna use my own email for the recipient as well, and we're just gonna make sure it works. The expected output is that I receive an email in my inbox. So let's see if it works. And it did, so that's good. Test case number 2, we're gonna use the second thing on the menu, and we're gonna input a random person's email address, which is gonna be mine. And we're gonna see if it works. And the output should be resulted in an email sent to my email address, which it is. You're gonna wanna make sure this works with the code that you created as well, the file. Because if it doesn't work, then there's something wrong in your code and you have to go through it again. Don't forget that in the description and right here, I've linked to my code. So you can copy and paste it and edit it. It's not copyrighted, so go ahead. Now test case number 4 or 3, we're gonna try inputting the number 4 in the menu, which should result in an error message and bring us right back to the menu, because 4 is not an option. So let's do that. And yep, that's the output. So that is great, because it means that our program is running smoothly without any problems. So make sure your homework is to do this with 15 different case studies and make sure that they work completely well, completely smoothly, very smoothly. And now I know that the code works perfectly. And don't forget to save your code. If you had to make any changes after those test cases, make sure you save your work. Always save your work. You don't want to lose all your progress. So now you can change the program however you want. You can look online for more ways to edit your program. You can change the emails, you can change the menu, you can change functions, you can add functions, you can even add a function to send the email at a certain time, later in time, which, like using a timer, which if you can figure that out, that's actually a good idea. Try to figure that out and try to add that to the program. And that's pretty much it. You just made a super fun Python email sending program that makes people laugh. Thank you for watching this video, and don't stop coding. God bless. Yeah, this braid, so I don't know, I just decided to braid my hair this morning for some reason, and it's the first time I've ever done a braid, and I've self-taught myself. I didn't even look up a tutorial on YouTube. I self-taught myself, and it's not horrible for a first braid, I must say. Tell me what you think.